Hey guys, now every so often I like to review some of my favourite films. I've done this before in the past with Inglourious Basterds and The Empire Strikes Back. And the only reason I like to do this is because I like expressing my opinion on films to you guys, and also it gives you guys some recommendations for films to watch in the future. Drive is directed by Nicolas Refn and stars Ryan Gosling, Oscar Isaacs, Carey Mulligan, Albert Brooks, Ron Perlman and the amazing Bryan Cranston. Now when this film came out, and still to this day, a lot of people are quite split on the film. You either have the people who love it or the people who absolutely hate it. Luckily I'm on the love it side. The people who hate it say that there's not enough dialogue, there's not enough action, and it's just a bit too artsy. But the people who love it, like me, think that there's a lot of beauty to be found in this film, and in its simplicity and the lack of things like dialogue and action, it can portray other stuff that your casual filmgoer might miss. Now, I've heard some people say that it's the perfect blend of ultra-violence and art house. Yet again, I've heard other people saying that it's really boring. And I can understand both of them. I mostly agree with the first statement more, but people who do say it's boring, I can totally agree with. I mean, even though I love this film, I can understand the reasons why other people might hate it. Because the first time I watched it, I liked it. I did think it was a bit slow and certain things could have been done a lot more. But then I watched it again and again, and I started to appreciate it more as a film. The reason there isn't much dialogue is because it relies on the visuals and the things that people do to carry the film and the emotions. However, the dialogue that is there is very subtle in the way that it is actually crucial to the plot. For example, the first time Bernie and the driver meet, that one little sentence of dialogue which you see in the trailer hints at things to come and their past as well, and the same goes with the conversation between the driver and the little boy on the sofa whilst they're watching cartoons. That pretty much sums up the entire premise of like the driver's current situation and how he feels about where he's at with the business that he does. I have to admit, the first time I went into this film I was expecting a lot of violence, and for the most part I was partially satisfied because the violence that is in this film is brutal. However, when watching it again, you kind of understand why there's not an urgency for violence. Violence, even though it is fairly brutal, it is realistic. For example, the scene in the motel, when the driver is taking out these people, he's scared. He doesn't know what to do, yet he's got stuff planned out in his mind of how it's going to go. But by the time the scene is finished, he looks scared shitless. As if he doesn't know what he's just done, because he's not this professional hitman who can just go around killing people here and there. He doesn't know what he's doing, and he's literally up to here in shit. The acting in this film is great. Bryan Cranston is good as ever, even though he hasn't got much screen time. Ron Perlman is a bit of a dick in this film, but you'd like that because that's what you came to see. Albert Brooks is really good as the main villain Bernie. But the main standouts have to be Carey Mulligan and Ryan Gosling because their relationship works. It doesn't feel forced. She wants to be with the driver even though she knows she's in a relationship, and the driver wants to be with her even though he knows he won't be able to get with her. In terms of direction, this film is flawless. I mean, it's visually a masterpiece. I don't think the streets of LA have ever looked as good as they do at night time in this film. I mean, they look pretty good in Nightcrawler, but they just are done so much justice in Drive. So it would be criminal for me not to mention the opening scene, which is one of my all-time favourite, if not my favourite opening scene to a movie ever. It sets up the character, his rules, and how he gets the job done. Because even though on first watching you like it, the more you watch it, the more you start to pick up on little things that do play a crucial role into how that scene ends up playing out. And it's just so methodical and perfect that it's like, honestly, if you haven't seen the opening scene to Drive, I highly recommend that you look it up on YouTube, like right now. Also, I can't talk about Drive without talking about the soundtrack, which is one of the best fitting soundtracks to a film ever. I mean, the 80s style neon synths that play in the background, especially the chromatics tick the clock, which plays out through that opening scene, just every bit of soundtrack works perfectly for the scenes that they're put in. I mean, it couldn't have gone any better. Honestly though, Drive is one of my all-time favourite films, and I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10 because I don't really know what else to give it. It's just such a really, really good film. Anyway guys, that's my review for Drive. I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to be trying a few new things within the next few weeks, as well as the next few months as well. The first one being What the Fuck Reviews, which is where I review some of the worst films ever made. The first one is going to be for Food Fight, and in terms of what I will review, it will be just bad films, so bad they're good films, or guilty pleasure films. It's just anything that classes as any form of bad. Another thing that I'll be trying out as well is just top 10 lists of my favourite things every so often, which will probably be uploaded on a similar schedule to these my favourite movie reviews. Whenever there's nothing in cinemas or I just don't know what else to upload, I'll probably upload a top 10 of one of my favourite things. I think the first one will be for video games, and then I'll think of some other ideas here and there. But I hope you guys enjoy what is to come. I will have more reviews coming to you as soon as I can. I'm still trying to get Easy Targets finished. I promise it's almost done. It's this close. It's almost there. I'm planning for a March or April release, so just bear with me guys. I'm almost done. Anyway guys, remember to like, subscribe and comment below if you want me to. I do take requests for film reviews, but don't expect a response like immediately. It might take a while for me to actually review that film. But apart from that, remember to like my Facebook page, Media Critic, and that's about it. Bye guys.